Hey everybody, this is Milesluigi. Welcome you back to Digressing Mario Kart 8. Guess what track's gonna get picked here? Guess what track's gonna get picked here? If you guessed Random Royal Raceway, you're right! Oh my gosh, wow. Oh my, okay, I need to start this Digressing in Sports coming to Mario Kart 8. First things first, I did say I'm Milesluigi, right? Yes, okay. Alright, you see, I love the N64 tracks, okay? I've always loved retro N64 tracks in every single Mario Kart game, but for whatever reason in this Mario Kart game, it just seems like the N64 tracks come out way too damn often, which is a shame because this track is awesome! I love Royal Raceway and I love the other N64 tracks, even Toad's Turnpike, and I gotta say probably the biggest reason why I love Toad's Turnpike is more the music than anything else, but oh, and of course it's a little bit wacky with all the vehicles and stuff like that, but I mean it's a straight track where you can concentrate on I want to take this turn as tight as possible, or in this case Royal Raceway. Oh hey, we got that classical music going on around here and it's like hex to the fudge, yeah. And Rainbow Road, oh hey, that's right, they kind of fudged up Rainbow Road with the whole single lap thing. Milesluigi just got sniped in midair with a red shell even though he had double bananas. Once again, when you're in midair, you're a little bit more defenseless, as Milesluigi just got passed by somebody who took the shortcut on that turn, who's now in first place, and Milesluigi's getting chased by somebody who has a star. Burst into the star, decides to go chasing after Milesluigi instead of taking the shortcuts, which if he would have taken the shortcut, maybe they would have gotten Milesluigi. Milesluigi elects to just get rid of all his banana peels to be able to get a new item. He gets him a bomb, which is theoretically useful here. We got some curvy curves coming up here provided. Oh, Milesluigi just decides to drop it. Fair point, I can understand as well. She just tries to pass Milesluigi but gets hit by a red shell. But, oh, my point is, oh my gosh. Once again, I love the retro N64 tracks. Maybe it's because the N64 tracks originally were, well, N64 tracks. And by that, I mean they graphically weren't that good. So usually in a Mario Kart game, even back to Mario Kart DS, some effort was put into making the tracks look quite a bit better. But then again, I digress. But one thing I gotta say, the 3 N64 tracks in this game, fantastic, fabulous job. They all are beautiful, but they come up too often in online play. And I want to say a part of that's not the voting. I want to say the game's rigged to give you these tracks. Now, I don't have any proof of this. I haven't done some statistical analysis where I've taken like the races we've gotten and performed some statistical analysis in which we get this track. Let's just say it's equally bound. If it's equally bound, we expect to see this track less than 5% of the time or outside 2 standard deviations. I haven't done that yet, but this is just gut instinct. Milesluigi is on the final stretch here, final lap. Oh, he gets a coin! He's completely defenseless. If anything comes blue shell, red shell, green shell, anything, he's gonna ruin Milesluigi's day, but Milesluigi makes it to the finish line first and gets first on Royal Raceway. There we go. Woo, Nelly. And wow. What happened, Yoshi? What happened to your go-kart really going? I might have to take a peek back there. Too bad I can't see the map yet on the screen. That update should be out today if I got my scheduling up here correct for you for when this video will go up here. Let's go ahead and hop on to Mario Circuit. This is actually a track that you don't see as often online, and this track frankly is kind of one of those tracks that you just take a look at and it's like, okay, this is a pretty cool track, but it's an easily forgettable track. And I think the biggest reason why is that this track doesn't really do much to stand out. It just curves and twists, and half of it is in the anti-gravity section, but otherwise this track, like even if you take out the anti-gravity section, would be nothing new for a Mario Kart game. As Milesluigi lays a banana, lays another banana on the jump pads to force people to either not use the jump pads or avoid the banana shells on the jump pads, which can sometimes be a gambit. That's sometimes a good place for a jump pad. Milesluigi gets a mushroom now. What is he going to do with the mushroom? Oh, Milesluigi's going to save the mushroom because he's about to get hit by a red shell. As that Mario just did not get hit by the piranha plant, even though it appeared like it is on Milesluigi's screen. Oh leg, Milesluigi starts drifting into the next turn. Oh man, look at that drift. One thing I like about the traditional racing track games is, of course, you see the red and white banner strip on the side of the track, and the thing is, that's perfectly valid road to drive off of. As first place just blasts ahead of Milesluigi thanks to some mushrooms, and now Milesluigi is kind of stuck back here. Milesluigi actually just nails Yoshi with a banana mid-air. That is one hell of a banana snipe. Mid-air banana snipe, yeah, I mean, it's not the most impressive. It would have been more impressive if it was over a gap like it was in Cheep Cheep Beach, but still. Alright, let's not get hit by the piranha plant onto the pipe. and go ahead and coast our way to the final turn here. That jump platform, I want to say, is the faster path, even though it's a slightly wider turn, just because the pad itself like boosts you so far forward. Plus, you know, it's nice to have that kind of air control to dodge all the Goombas. As Milesluigi pulls triple red shells, he uses it to get ahead of first place. He's now in first place. His red shells are in danger, but he's going to hold on to that red shell for in case anyone passes him, or for protection. He thinks oh, okay, it's not for protection. That red shell was after someone else. Sometimes that review camera is really useful to see if a red shell is actually after you. But anyway, on to the final stretch of the race. If you actually take a look here behind him, triple green shells by Bowser. He dodges one, he dodges two. Is a Ricochet going to nail him? A Ricochet does not nail Milesluigi, allowing him to go straight into first place right at the end of the race. Whew. Triple green shells behind you, right behind you, and you managed to dodge them all. That's a pretty good feeling, especially because the green shells travel really fast, so the idea of dodging a green shell snipe, no, it doesn't happen real easily unless you're on a really long stretch and you can actually use the real view camera and you can actually see the green shell coming. And here's the thing, I've been in that situation and straight up still get hit with the green shell because I anticipate the green shell flying in a different direction. As we come to what I honestly think is my racing group's favorite track, Mount Wario. It's one hell of a fun track on my end, and it seems like every single track this track comes up as a selection, it almost always gets picked up by us. I of course mean Yoshi, who I usually race with. Not always, but I usually race with them. And whenever he's available, we like to have Andrew with us as well. As Milesluigi biffed that turn, wow. See a bike slides all over the ice, so Milesluigi was trying to stay on that upper path, which is possible while doing it on a bike, but it's definitely, you have to be in the right lane to do it. Otherwise, you fall into the lower path, and that's slightly slower. Milesluigi almost gets pushed off by Andrew Higsby there, but it doesn't happen. Milesluigi pulls a crazy 8. His star does not get stolen, and frankly, he doesn't get to use too much else of the crazy 8 actually. But the crazy 8 was pretty cool there, just for the star there, and getting onto the lower path here. One thing that I noticed that the world record time trial does in that very first segment, matter of fact, okay, we're kind of getting way past that. Wow, Milesluigi. He pulls a boomerang in second place, which isn't all too terribly useful, but here comes the blue shell. The blue shell is racing after presumably Yoshi, because he's the one who's typically in first there, and yeah, that seemed about right. As the boomerang, negative on that. Alright, Milesluigi takes the slightly slower path and falls behind another person who managed to be able to take that booster pad, but he pulls a red shell here as he comes across all the trees. He doesn't do a very good job dodging the trees, I can tell you that. There's a really nice lane, kind of like in the center there, that's really nice for dodging all those things. There's a whole bunch of crud comes after Milesluigi, but guess what? Milesluigi is a star. He's like, no, screw you all, screw you all, screw you all. The finish line is mine now. He gets a star after a lightning goes off. That's pretty much guaranteed first place, but, well, Yoshi was pretty far ahead up there, and he's not too far behind Milesluigi, who's come across the final leg here on Mount Wario, the boost pad down. Milesluigi is going to pull down in this mushroom because it'll be useful to recover from an attack or dodge a blue shell, going through all the rings here, or possibly take a shortcut. No, here comes the blue shell. It all comes down to this. BAM! Yes! 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 Milesluigi comes in first. So, if you remember last Digressing Mario Kart, where I didn't have first at all in any of the races, contrast to this video, whenever I choose highlights to upload, it's more so for which races were the most interesting, which would I want to share with the internet the most, and I try not to base that based on how well I did. But in this case, it was like, oh, well, I just did extremely well considering the circumstances there. Holy cow. Let's go ahead and move on to our final race of today, which happens on Rainbow Road. But point I wanted to make was I have this core group of people that I generally play with, and that's really convenient because sometimes a room will die out. But the thing is, if you have your core group of people, you'll always have kind of like people to be with in your race, instead of the room just completely dying off and just coming down to 2 or 3 people. Which, well, my group actually is 3 people. Evil Pop Tart does not have this game or a Wii U, as he'd be a natural candidate for that. So you might be wondering, well, because I've gotten this message by I think 3 different people who want to race with me more, and I tell them, you know, sometimes on a night when me and typically Yoshi are available, that's usually when I'll play Mario Kart online. And I guess, okay, there are people who want to race as Milesluigi race bananas onto the shortcuts on Rainbow Road, and he definitely nails at least one person there. There we go. But yeah, something I've been thinking about. Alright, fair point. Maybe I should schedule my playtimes a little bit more so that we can get more people to join us, especially since we're now kind of past the heyday when this game just came out and you're not watching online every single day as Milesluigi online is Milesluigi online. This is actually one thing I gotta say is just, it's a terrible thing. Okay, you can't really reliably see if someone is online unless you actually turn on your Wii U, turn on Mario Kart 8, and see if someone is online. But in this regard, I could see myself throwing a tournament or two for everyone sometime in the near future, something that I would have to schedule out there, though I definitely want to gauge some interests if it's just this one or two people who would be interested, or if we can get a whole group of people interested. Because if a whole group of people are interested, you know, I'll schedule a time, we'll do a tournament, we'll probably have 12 players, we'll see. Probably have Yoshi, who will win half the races because his go-kart really goes. But anyway, Milesluigi, he biffed that turn at the end of Rainbow Road, and it's because he got hit with the blooper and he anticipated the end of the blooper incorrectly. So now he's entering into the final lap on Rainbow Road. Surprisingly at 4th place. Whatever happened to those racers? Those racers almost looked like computer racers. They were just straight up going slower. Milesluigi takes this turn ever so carefully, just very slightly nudging the brake button occasionally, because that turn is actually so tight that I find myself braking on it just a little bit. The key is whenever you brake while drifting, you have to hold down the accelerator at the same time to hold the drift, and you can't hold down the brake button too long. That is like one of the very few turns in the game where I'll actually do use the brake consistently. Usually I'll only use the brake if I mess up a turn or I'm going, oh shit, need to turn really quickly or tightly. But Milesluigi's on the final leg of the wrap in 1st place. He pulls triple bananas, which was a pretty good pull there. He just straight up uses the bananas right away. And actually my thought was, well, if Red Shell's going to hit me, it's going to hit one of those bananas, but instead, it doesn't, but there was a red shell there. Milesluigi just came into 1st on Rainbow Road, and actually my group 1st, 2nd, 3rd. That was a fantastic finish there. Woohoo! Anyway, once again, I hope you guys are enjoying the Mario Kart update, and let's have some Luigi Death Stares of the week. See you next time.